We'll be getting started shortly.
Christine, I think someone is trying to join. That's Corva. Can you check?
Yes, I will check. Thanks. I don't see anyone trying to join. Because I stopped my share. Sometimes when you're sharing, it's hard to see people in the waiting room. But I'm not seeing, let's see, let me check and see if I could go into the waiting room. You know, I might even turn off the waiting room and that way people can come in right away. Let me try that. I just admitted someone into the waiting room. Just want to make sure that we don't have any more. Enable waiting room. Okay, I turn that off. Here we go. We'll be getting started in another minute. We were having some small technical issues, but we will be getting started soon. Thanks for your patience, everyone. More people are coming in. We'll be starting in another minute. We just need to make sure that we have everything taken care of from a technical standpoint. Thanks for your patience, everyone. We appreciate it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, if you could put in the chat that you can hear me and that you can see my screen that I'm sharing, that would be great. If you could just put a yes, that'll be good. And we'll have our confirmation that things are working from a technical standpoint here. This is good. And then let me do this. All right, and it's very bright. It looks like the sun is blazing where I am. But that is not the case. That is not the case at all. Just want to make sure that we're all set up. And then Jarrell, I'm going to go ahead because I want to make sure, oh, we have more people coming in. I'm going to go
Sure.
ahead and make you the host because that way someone's not waiting on me to let them in. So let me just do that. I'll make you the host. And that way I can go ahead and get started. And now it won't let me share my screen. I think, Jarrell, you're going to have to give me the ability to share my screen. So let me know when you have that ready. And we are almost all set, almost all ready to go. This is the fun of technical challenges. And sometimes we have them even when we're doing Zoom interviews. It's important to make sure you've got everything set up if you are going to be doing a Zoom video, and even practice. There's nothing wrong with practicing with other people. I think a lot of us though do get a lot of Zoom practice. But you can never have too much, just to make sure all your technical stuff is working properly.
You can share now.
Okay, great. Let's give this another try. Here we go. Yes, it looks like I can share now. Great, wonderful. All right, so we've got the record button hit and we're gonna go ahead and get started. And oh, there was one other thing too. And Jarrell, spotlight is on, correct? If you can make sure that spotlight is on, just so it's an easier view, a cleaner view for everyone, that would be great. Make sure that is set. Okay, but let me go ahead and get started. All right, so happy Tuesday, everyone. Thank you for your patience with our technical difficulties. We're really happy that you are joining us today because this is a really important day. This is about having your plan, your career plan. And again, I'm always saying this, I feel like I'm maybe nagging in my posts that I do on LinkedIn, but if we want to be successful with any project that we're taking on, we need to have a plan. A plan is crucial. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Before we get into the material though, I just wanted to acknowledge everyone in the class. We had over 50 people, actually 60 some people register. We did do outreach as well because of all the layoffs last week that were at Google, Microsoft, Spotify. I think even Salesforce might have done some too, Wayfair. And we're still continuing to do outreach. But if you know of anyone who was impacted last week, or even just spreading the word to your connections, because if you don't know of someone, probably some of your connections know of someone who was impacted, who was laid off. I did a post today as well that I would love for you to vote in. Jarrell, if it's possible to share the link to that post, today's poll post in the chat, that would be great, because I would really love for everyone to vote in the poll. It's a 1-week poll. And the poll is about if you've ever experienced sudden job loss, what's the advice that you have? What's the one piece of advice that you have for someone who has experienced that? And then if I give you 4 options to choose from, but if one of those isn't your answer, then please make a comment, because the more we can help everyone who was impacted last week by, these sudden changes, that would be a great thing to do. But anyway, about you, we have over 60 people actually who registered, and it's really a mix of people. So my niche that I work with are sales and marketing leaders. But this masterclass is available to anyone, really. anyone who wants to have a plan and anyone who is doing a job search. But my specialty is working with marketing and sales leaders. I love working with them because they're so great at marketing and selling a service or a product. But when it comes to doing that for themselves in their career, that's where I come in and that's where I help. So I enjoy that very much. So we have marketing and sales leaders that are in this, who've signed up for this masterclass. We do have some people from Google as well. We have clients. Some of my clients are in here. New connections. A lot of you are new connections. So a wide variety of people, which is really nice. I like that a lot. So anyway, if you are a Facebook user, please go, you might be in the Facebook group already, but definitely take advantage of the Facebook group, leverage that, because that's to give us a sense of community too, and to really help with any questions, and also to provide free resources to you. It's not just about this masterclass, because once it ends, I'm committed to providing free content in that Facebook group too. So feel free to share that with other people as well. Okay, so anyway, with this slide, if you feel comfortable sharing in the Facebook group or in the chat, who are you and what do you want to get out of this masterclass? That would be great. And specifically what you like to get out of this masterclass. In order to participate in this masterclass, I did have everyone fill out a short form for me, which I filled out, which I reviewed. And that really helps me to get more feel for what's important for you and what you'd like to get out of this class. And I want to make sure while you're in this class that you are getting the value that you're looking for. That is critical. It's really important. Excuse me, I'm trying to, there we go. Oops. I did not move my slide the way I should. Let me do this. Oops. Here we go. All right, now, oops. We want to go, so again, friendly reminder for you to print out your workbooks. I think I said that several times yesterday, but again, if you haven't done that already, please print that out, because we want that to be a resource to you that you are using throughout the year. I'm going to do a quick recap of yesterday, and then we'll jump right into today's content for you. So my recap is that career goal card that is in your workbook. Make sure that you use that to really stay focused on your big, scary career goal, right? And the best way to use it is to fill out that, write down that big, scary goal that you have and carry it around with you. Have it, look at it, have it be the first thing that you look at in the morning when you wake up. And then when you go to sleep at night, have you, look at it before you go to bed, and look at it throughout your day, because it does keep you tethered. It keeps you on track to that goal that you are working on, that you want to achieve. Yes, finally, day 2. So this is the career plan. And I'm going to go into detail on each one of these things. Okay, but this is how I define, what you need to have in a career plan. And this outline is if you are doing a job search or you're not doing a job search. Not everyone is in job search mode right now. And I do, keep that in mind. Okay. The first thing is managing our mindset. And what does that mean? What does that mean? And we talked about that yesterday. We talked about the inner critic. That's that voice that we hear a lot. We hear it 90% of the time, possibly. And it's that negative voice that we hear a lot. And versus the inner mentor. Okay. So you probably hear your inner critic most of the time, And it's probably very hard to hear the inner mentor. And the purpose of yesterday, and even the reflection work that I do with my clients, is number one, to help you turn up the volume on the inner mentor so you can hear the inner mentor more clearly. You're not battling all the outside noise and everything that's just constantly coming at you, okay, as well as your inner critic. So we want to really tune in. We want to turn up the volume and hear that inner mentor. So we have our North Star, our compass, in the direction that we need to go in. And then the inner critic, talked about yesterday again, about that inner critic is not a terrible person. The inner critic is there to keep you safe, is to help you survive. So you need to, not get sucked into the inner critic and not let the inner critic be the driver of your career decisions and of your work. But you should just at least recognize, hear the inner critic, but again, have a balanced, be able to be balanced in the actions that you're taking. That's important. All right, so that's number one, managing your mindset. Again, the key thing to do with that is being aware of your inner critic and your inner mentor and balancing that out. Star stories are the foundation of your brand. And that's how we are memorable, is through story. That is how people remember us. So when you're in the interview process and they're looking at 3 other candidates, what's going to make you stand out? Your star stories, your stories of how you are invaluable to others. And this is what makes your brand unique, unlike any other brands. All right, let me just move this. Excuse me, there we go. All right. So star stories are really important. We do have the star story worksheet in the workbook. And the best way to use that is you use one sheet, so you can make a copy, but you want to do one sheet for every one of your strengths. I don't think I touched upon this yesterday, but I want to touch upon it now. With your strengths, you might, to have greater clarity in what your strengths are, there's some really good assessments that are out there. And in your corporate career, have you done any assessments? You probably have, either when you were hired or maybe for leadership development, maybe part of the review process. Pull out those assessments and look at them. Yes, you want to look at, well, this was done like 8 years ago. Am I still the same person? Okay. Maybe it will be good for you right now this year to take a new assessment, to get some data on where you're at right now with your strengths. When I'm working with clients, what we do is the Strengths Finder assessment. That one, I've worked with many different assessments in my HR experience, and I like Strengths Finder the best because I find it simple and easy to use, yet it's very powerful, and it really helps to give us more clarity on our brand, on our strengths. I wanted to mention that since I had not mentioned that yesterday. Okay, moving on. The number 3 thing in our career plan is a job search if needed. Not everyone is going to be in job search mode, okay? But if you are in job search mode, you really need these components that I have listed on the slide. There is the resume, of course, the LinkedIn profile, cover letter template, and even follow-up email templates, because you'll be doing follow-up in addition to your interviews. Like once you interview, you want to keep tabs on where the interview process is going. Where do you rank? Feedback, questions that you have, all that good stuff. Out of all of these, I have to say that the LinkedIn profile is really important. And I know some people have kind of neglected their LinkedIn profile. They don't have the time for it. Let me explain why I think it is so important. And it's important if, regardless of you being in job search mode or you're happy where you're at and you don't want to leave. if you have your LinkedIn profile fully optimized to reflect your one-of-a-kind, unique brand, then it's easier for recruiters and hiring managers to find you regarding the opportunities that you're interested in. Okay. Now, again, if you're not looking for a job, you might be like, well, Christina, I'm not looking to make a change. What if there's an opportunity out there that would be a great fit for you for your next step? What if it would really stretch you? It would expand your impact. You would get paid more. You would get experience in a new area that you haven't gotten experience in before, or a new industry. Okay. What if? Right. I'm not trying to create FOMO here, but at the same time, don't you want to be open to opportunities that will stretch your comfort zone and that will grow you as a leader, as a professional? And that's why the LinkedIn profile is so important. And the LinkedIn profile, I love the app. If you do not have the LinkedIn app on your phone, you need to get it, because it's going to help you. We'll talk about that more tomorrow, but you really want to take advantage of it. It will help you to fully leverage LinkedIn when you have it on your iPhone. And if someone meets you or hears about you, if you submit a resume to me for our CMO role at our company, I'm going to pull you up on LinkedIn right away, because I want to know as much about you as possible. I have your resume in front of me, but I will pull up your LinkedIn profile. And also too, I feel that marketing leaders, especially, and sales leaders too, are held to a higher standard with their LinkedIn profile. Because especially a marketing leader, if you don't have a good LinkedIn profile, then, it's like an accountant not having a good accounting ledger, So, so that's something I wanted to say. Also too, for your career plan, you should have a list of target companies that you watch. Think of it this way. If you invest in the stock market, you probably have companies that you watch. Maybe you're interested in possibly investing in them, or maybe there's an industry that you think is high growth. The same thing for your search. You want, or just even, again, if you're not in job search mode, you want to know what's going on with companies out there. What companies are growing, are doing well. It's important. It will help you with your career, because you could possibly in the future, be a part of one of those companies, or you're also helping your connections too by, really having a target company list. Okay. So that is something that I work on with my clients as well. And the target company, I do have a bullet point here. Your target companies are not going to be the same as the ones that I like. Everyone, it's part of who you are, how you're invaluable, how you're delivering your value. It's like, again, it's going to depend on what your likes and dislikes are, what your preferences are, and how you want to grow, all of that. So, so that's something to keep in mind. Right, we will be talking about this tomorrow, but I did need to address it right now. So connect is actually the third ingredient or key in my one-on-one coaching program and it's a part of your career plan. It should be a part of every career plan if you're doing a job search or you're not doing a search. So you're applying new jobs. If you are applying to jobs, you should be doing that through your connection work, and then also following up on applications. When you're interviewing, you're using connection work. You really want to shine your brand. Connection work always needs to be done. So that is one of my bullet points that I have here. It always needs to be done regardless of being in job search mode. If you're, no matter how blissfully happy you are in your current role, it's important to stay in touch with your connections every day. Please don't be overwhelmed by it. You might be like, oh, Christine, I don't want to do that. That's not practical for me. It is. Make it a small task. Don't think that I'm expecting you to talk with 20 people or even 5 people in a day. No, 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 that's not the case at all. I'm talking about something as simple and easy as using the LinkedIn app on your phone and just going into LinkedIn for 5 minutes a day and reaching out to a connection that you haven't talked to in a while to say, hey, how are you? How is work going? What's new? Use it that way. Or you can also use it to make a new connection. You know, LinkedIn, the app is also great for staying on top of what's going on in the world. It's a great source of news content, and I like it. I feel like it's not so negative. I feel like it's not so biased. It seems to be more objective. So that's another good thing too. So maybe if you are consuming the news on a regular daily basis, maybe tweak that, replace it with going on LinkedIn for that time. So I don't advise people watching the news because I do think it can be very negative and it can be a downer. But if you can replace it with using the LinkedIn app for 5 minutes, or just even going on your computer, whatever, but try to do that and see how that works for you. And then receive is the last piece of a career plan. And it may seem kind of strange that I have this in here, but it's a give and take. It's an ebb and flow. That's associated with connection. You want to you negotiate raises, new positions, promotions, talk about that, you evaluate them, you decide, and then there's closure with any kind of change. But this is an important part too that we need to recognize. And here's my cursor. I have this slide in here because I want you to be aware of this. And this is something that I have had to deal with myself. And just to become aware of the knowing doing gap. And this is a term that I had heard from Bob Proctor. I think I mentioned Bob Proctor yesterday. I was able to study a lot of his work through coaching that I received from my coach. And the knowing doing gap, the way I explain it is I go back to my human resources days, and we take the simple example of a manager that has an employee that keeps on coming late to work. They keep on doing it. And then we start following the discipline process. We're writing up the person and we're having meetings with them. And eventually the person isn't able to come to work on time, and then they lose their job, they lose their position. And that's the knowing doing gap. They know that they need to be on time for their work. They know that they're needed for this position. They have to be there. Sorry, I have this hair in my mouth. That's very annoying. Oh, well, I think I got it. I'm not sure, but that's okay. They know that they should be doing it. Yes, they're not doing it. And it's like this struggle. So recognize that when you are encountering that, and then when you do experience that, that's the time when you have to do something new. You have to look at what you've been doing, because what you've been doing is not fixing the problem. So what are some new things for you to do that are outside your comfort zone for you, to get the result that you want to get? So that is something to keep in mind. And then I also have here, don't become an information junkie. So this is, again, something that has applied to me. I always loved when I was a student, I always loved being in school. And I think that's because I can be an information junkie. But now I've had greater awareness with that. And what I recommend is there's nothing wrong with learning and getting information, getting new content. The thing is to take action. So if you can, instead, with every new learning that you do, well, we can take the Masterclass, for example. So yesterday I asked you to take action on some things. Did you take that action? If you didn't, why didn't you take it? Can you resolve to take some action today on it? Because that impacts our learning too. If we're just absorbing information and we're not taking action on it, how good is it really? How beneficial is it really? Think about a book that you read that made a huge impact. I mean, you were just blown away by this book. You're like, wow, this is amazing. This is so helpful. What have you applied from that book? What have you taken action on? And I'm not trying to make you feel guilty or bad, but if you haven't, then go ahead, pull that book back out and start to reread it, but do it in learning bites instead. Maybe do a couple pages and think about what you can apply. What can you take action so you have real change because of this book that you read? Now I get to tell you about this. This is my bonus that I'm offering to you. I haven't offered this before, and I'm really excited to be doing this. And the reason I'm offering this bonus is to have you take action. I want you to take action, okay, to really have change, to improve your career, okay? And I'm also giving you a deadline, because I know that if I just leave it out there, you're not going to be taking action. But I know I give myself deadlines, and they help me tremendously to take action and to make the progress that I want to make. So my bonus is you'll get a resume audit. When I do my career clarity calls, and many of you have done them with me already, I do like an audit of your LinkedIn profile. Well, this is essentially the same thing, but I'm telling you what I think of your resume, what I don't like about it, and what I do like about it. I'm giving you all that feedback on it. Okay. So if you've never done a career clarity call with me, to receive this bonus, you would need to book a career clarity call with me by the end of the day today, by midnight tonight. Okay. And then Jarrell, if you would be able to put the link for booking that career clarity call with me, if you could put that in the chat, that would be great. So you would need to book it by midnight tonight, and then it needs to occur. It needs to happen. We need to have this call by midnight on Friday. Okay. Now you might be wondering, well, Christine, I've already done a career clarity call with you. Can't I still get the bonus? If you are not a client, but you have done a career clarity call with me, then you will get the bonus if you schedule a Q&A call with me. Okay, because I want to reconnect with you in a one-on-one conversation, and I want to know, what are you doing differently in your career? How are you making your career better? And just to really help you to be accountable and hold yourself accountable. Okay. So, and I want to be able to give this bonus to as many people as possible. So I wanted to offer that to you as well, if you've already done a career clarity call. And the same thing applies. You would need this is a very short call. It's like 15 minutes of that. And you would need to book it by midnight tonight, and it just needs to happen by the end of the week. So, but just something fun that I wanted to do to help you have improvement and to be better in your career, to make it better. So I'm excited about that. Jarrell, can you tell me, I'm going to look at the chat too, but what questions,
Yeah.
did we have any
Wrote a
questions?
question.
Let me see. I will look to see if I have, because it might be
Good.
better. Ha 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 ha. It is a different link for the Q&A. So yeah. It is a different link for that. It's definitely a different link for that. So yeah. So there's the two links. The one link for the career clarity call, and then there's a separate scheduling link for the Q&A call. Okay. So yeah. So I'm excited about that. And then I'm going to have a new bonus for you tomorrow, which I'm really excited about, and can't wait to share that too. And these bonuses again are to help you. They're free, and because you're participating, I think you need to get some recognition for blocking out the time to be in this masterclass and to really taking action in helping yourself with your career. So I want to reward you for being accountable, for showing up, for taking action, for making a decision too. Decisiveness is very important to our success, and I want to recognize you with that too. Jarrell, was there any other questions or anything else that you needed to tell me before I start to wrap up here?
Yeah, I think Dawn asked question about how is the best way to optimize LinkedIn. And then yeah, so she also asked for the link for the Q&A link. So I'll go ahead and send it to her. Yeah.
Yes. That's a great question, Dawn. So the easiest way to optimize your LinkedIn profile, I would say, is, and I always ask people this, your profile photo. You are your brand. When was the last time you had your profile photo done? Okay. You want it to be current. I recommend that you get a profile photo done once a year. Because if your profile photo is like 7, 8 years old, that's not you anymore. So take the time, it's worth the investment. You can get, and it's not super expensive. You get a professional headshot. You want something that really captures you, what you're about, like a good photo, a photo that you like, that you like, yeah, that's me. So that is important. And you just made me think too, there's a podcast that I listen to. It is Mel Robbins, and I heard about the podcast. It's a great resource. We should be able to share it with you, but she talks mainly, she has an expert on talking about communication skills, but at one point, I mean, a lot of it is really good when you're interviewing. Okay, so some good stuff there, but also too, to help you be a more powerful communicator in business and in your personal life. And they talk about, I think they even talk about your LinkedIn profile. I thought I remembered saying, things so people feel more comfortable with you. So you're more approachable, because that is important too. The other thing I want to say with your LinkedIn profile, I see this all the time. People really don't pay attention to the banner photo that is on your LinkedIn profile. And this is huge. It's a big free billboard that communicates your brand. Pictures. We think in pictures. Pictures are a great way. They're the best way. They're the most simple way to communicate your brand. So if you are not leveraging that profile banner, I mean, not the, yeah, it is the profile banner. That's the name of it. Then you need to. You need to. It's super easy too. You can go on Canva, canva.com. They have all these templates for LinkedIn profile banner photos. And find a photo that you feel captures your brand. All right. Again, a successful LinkedIn profile, one that is fully optimized, communicates your brand, and also communicates how your brand is the solution to specific problems out there. Okay. And when I say problems, I'm thinking about roles out there, jobs out there, okay, positions, because you want your profile to come up in those searches for the opportunities that you're interested in. You know, if you're a CMO, you don't want your profile to come up for a accountant position, you know, or a CFO position even. You want it to come up for the positions that you are interested in. So that's my spiel for you on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. And we can always give you more information on that. Any other questions at all, Jarrell? Anything else that you want me to cover before I wrap up?
That's all, Chris.
That's all? Okay, great, excellent, wonderful, good. Well, this was great. I love this day 2 plan, but tomorrow we're going to be talking about connecting. And that is key. Connecting is probably one of the largest questions that I get from people, or the highest number of questions. In addition to the LinkedIn profile that Dawn was asking about, it's how do I network? How do I connect? And I don't like to say network really. I like to call it connection, because that's what it really is. It's 2 human beings or more connecting. So, so that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. And then stay tuned, because there's going to be another bonus that I will be revealing at the end of tomorrow's session. And then we may have maybe even another bonus or two up our sleeves. So anyway, all right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Same time, same Zoom link, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.